This video is brought to you by Draeger's Classics. We're just coming into Kingston, coming back from Joe's at Old School Garage, and it's really a neat thing about doing this is I get to drive the car about 50 miles over there, plus I get a ferry ride, so it's kind of a lot of fun to go to Joe's. But more important, Joe does really good service work, and he knows what he's doing. He likes only to work on old cars. And there's a ferry, we're gonna make it. That's great. Hi, I'm Jerry Draeger, Draeger's International Classic Sales in Seattle, Washington. We're here at Draeger's Clubhouse with this 1964.5 Mustang Coupe we just got in. It's got a 289, it's automatic, it's got a console, it's got the red interior. There's a couple of issues in on the sides of it that could be a little bit better, but I was really impressed when we put it on the rack, and you'll see that later in the video, how nice the underside is on this thing. Anyway, the 289 has been rebuilt. It's got a cam in it. We just had it to Old School Garage, and Joe did the service and safety check on it, so it's really running great right now. And it just really a good car that'll make a good first car for somebody, or it's a good car just to drive. I mean, I like driving it. It should give you a very good service. I bought it in Eastern Washington. It had been in Eastern Washington and Idaho, as near as I can tell from the titles that I could see. When I look down this car on all sides, you know, it's really a pretty straight car. The paint isn't all that bad. It's not a great paint job. It's not a show quality paint job. But, you know, it eyeballs actually pretty decent on here. We do have some issues. This is a bad spot, and you can see it better when we do the underside video in here. So you'll get to see that spot a little better. And but all the rest of this, you know, it's pretty decent in here. Now there's some spots like right here. Looks like a little bit of bubbling to me, and I can feel a little bit along there. But we're going to go around it with a Bondo checker for you too, so you can see exact what's going on with it. Door closes good, window rolls up and down good. The other window over there I didn't do, but you can see they roll up and down good too. Both sides, the other side works just as good. And again, the door closes just fine. So that's all good. And I thought I saw something along in here, but I'm always feeling. Again, we'll go over it with a Bondo checker so you can get a better idea. I know there was a, actually, I thought it was, look at so many cars, sometimes I don't remember them all. But everything else, you know, all along here, everything looks decent. Again, it's a driver quality car. It's not a show car. There's a bad spot right in here. Not sure what it is. It's a crack in the paint more than anything. Otherwise, it looks good. The front end of this car, you know, it all looks good, all crossed here, the windshield up on top, and the hood and everything. We replaced this bumper right here because it was just grody, and we maybe should have replaced these, but they're not too bad. There's a little dent right there. The balance is so-so on here, but everything else looks good. Now to open the hood on here, you just reach underneath here. There's a lever right there, and you just pull that back and lift it up. And this is where it gets neat. This has got this 289 in here. That's all, the top end's been, actually it's even got new pan gaskets on it, and you can see it's got a new water pump, and it's got some chrome pieces on here, chrome valve covers, and again, it's a 64.5. It still has the generator on it. It has the 64.5 horns on it and everything. Let's take a look underneath here. It's got a Edelbrock intake manifold on here. Long screw. And you can see the Edelbrock carburetor looks brand new. It's a 4-barrel. So this thing runs quite well. It feels good when you're driving it down the road. Now if I can just get that on there. There we go. Not too bad. This also has a master cylinder on it. It's a split brake system, so that's a good safety feature that was not stock. So that's been added to it. So you can see the engine compartment all looks real good and everything, and it's not detailed or anything. The engine looks good. That, of course, again, closes good. This all looks good across through here. Everything looks good on here. It's not all pitted or anything. It's a decent looking car. The passenger side on this car, you know, it's good and straight on here. It's got a couple of issues here and there. It's got spinner style stock hubcap on it. Tires are good. Everything looks good along here. Short antenna. The paint is not the greatest paint in the world, but it doesn't look too bad. Now there's a patch right here. And you can actually see it if you get down low. We'll take a close-up for you so you can see it good. Yeah, this all looks good along here. Everything. Door opens up just fine. It could use new felts in here. There you go, the door closes just fine. Everything looks good there. This all looks good. I see a spot right in there, a little bit. All this on top of the roof and everything looks good. Again, we have the spinner hubcaps on there. This all looks good. This still has the original drain vents in there. As you'll see when we get on the underside. Everything looks fine. On the back, there's a chip in the paint right here, and there's another chip right here. And the top of the trunk lid looks just fine. We have backup lights in here. These bumper guards are okay. You can buy them real cheap and replace them pretty easily. This gas cap it's very nice. It looks like it's been replaced at some time or another. The trunk in here, everything looks good in here. We put this mat in here, as you can see. And as you can see, it's got a cover over the gas tank, and this spot right here looks good. This is another area where they like to rust. The inner fender looks like it hasn't been played with, although they did put some foam in that corner over there. So that all looks good. It does have a spare tire, and we bought this cover and the mat for it. Didn't have a mat in there. As you can see, the spare is old. It's even got a little cracking in here, but it would do in a pinch. It's just a chrome wheel. The rest of the trunk just looks just fine. Ooh. Good, I got the keys. I hate that when I've done that before I locked in. I see a couple little spots in the paint right there. But this on that, look at that, that just cleans right off. That just tarnish. There's a little tarnish right there on the bumper. But overall, the back end looks good. Now, as you can see, we have a red interior in here, and it really looks good in this car. And in these seats and everything, I'm sure the rear seat and the door panels and everything have been replaced because they're really good. There's a little spot right here in the seat. And as you can see, we've got seat belts in here. And in the back, you have 3 seat belts. So there's a center one in here and over there. And again, the seat back here, it looks all real good. All this looks really nice. And if you look here at the, move this seat ahead so you can see, I mean, down in here, these carpets all look really good. You can see they look like brand new. I don't know about brand new, but they've been replaced. They're not the original carpets by any manner of means. And of course the dash pad all looks good across here. This I'm sure was a white dash because I saw a couple of chips once there saying it's been painted red here, but all the instruments look good across. Glove box. We have the console in here. And one of the things that was bad in this thing when we had to fix in the service and safety check, the bushing on this thing, so this is really good. Also, this piece here was missing, so we bought a new T-handle. Again, Mustangs are really easy to buy parts for. Console's in great shape. This steering wheel has a bad spot right here, and I actually tried to buy a steering wheel for it, but they told me they're not sure when they'll ever see some red steering wheels come in. So that's one thing that's not available right now. And as you can see, the headliner in here, it's all real good. I mean, the interior is very, very nice in this car. You will not be unhappy with the interior. The passenger side door panel looks all real good. This looks good. Except for right in here, there's a little bit of a bad spot. Otherwise, it looks good. This door panel looks good. There's a couple of spots on here that look like, see, and they come off too. I don't know what they are, but I think most of them will come off. Anyway, there's a couple little spots like that on it. Otherwise, it looks good. You can see the temperature gauge goes up. Fuel gauge, of course, works on here. I don't know about the lighter if that works. The radio seems like I've heard noise come out of it, but it doesn't really work. Heater, it works good. All that's nice and smooth. I don't think you can hear that with the engine running, but these all work good. Now you can hear the fan running. So it's a 2-speed on there. The lights, of course, work. Wipers work. The horn does not work. So, park lights, headlights, high beam, low beam, left turn signal, right turn signal, wipers, and these are 2-speed wipers too. And the horn does not honk. And the windshield washer does not work either. So there's the left turn signal. There's the right turn signal. There's park lights, tail lights, brake lights, and we have discovered that the backup lights are not working. Now we know we have a problem in here, and because I'm sure it was pushed in, is what's happened and at some time, because you can see there was a little bit of Bondo there, and now it's going to get big. And right here at the gas cap, it gets bigger. That's still not very deep. That's only 1/8 of an inch. And there's 3/16 of an inch. And I'll turn it back on again. See, some of that is if I rock it too much, but so there's Bondo all across there until you get on the edges. So evidently it got pushed right in here. Now we know we have problems at the bottom of this fender. That was me. Yeah, just rocking it. See there, see there? That's a bad spot. That's just right there is that bad spot. And again, sometimes I rock it and it makes it worse. Oh, that was me. That was me, I think. Well, maybe not. Nope, there's a little spot in there. That was me. Now there's something, just a little spot right there. See, that's a 1/16 of an inch, so it's not much. So there's a little bit of a spot in there, but not very much. So that worst spot so far is the rocker back there, or the rear quarter. This is all good. I know on the passenger door on the other side it has a patch in it. This is a place we find rust in Mustangs all the time, right in there, and that's all good. So this is good. Oops, that was me. I rock it just a little bit. So I mean, that's all good. Whoop, that was me. That was me again. That just me. So there, do we have any right there? It's hard to tell because it's rounded, but it might be a little spot in there. I would say there's a little spot in there. A little spot. It's just 1/16 of an inch deep, so it's just minor. And we know we got a spot here, but I don't think I can even get a good read on it because I can't get flush against it. We know there's a spot there though. See, this is rounded in here, but there is a little spot in there. That's me. That's me. You can see this is all good. That's me. That's all good. Oop. Little spot right there. Again, it's just minor. Most painters fill everything they can. A 1/16 of an inch isn't much. That's all good. That's all good. And we know this is a bad spot. It looks like they welded metal in here, so if it does, it may not show up. Oh, there it is. So that's a bad spot right in there. But it's just in that spot. See, that's all good. That was me. That's all good. That was me tipping it off. There's a little spot in there. Oop, that was me. I think this side is good. Oop, no, I can't. That was me. Just rocking it, so. This thing is really sensitive, so it doesn't take much. Oop, that was me. So you can see that was me again. You can see that's all good. Now there's this spot right there I showed you in the deal. All we got to do is do a little brush tension, and then I'll shrink up a little bit, and it should go mostly away. Now I was impressed when I looked underneath here on the underside of this. It's really good and solid. It does have some issues out in here on this rear quarter in here, and which you saw earlier. And I mean, but the inside of it looks good. It all looks good across here. There's a little bit of paint run right there, but nobody will ever see that. And the drain vent again is in here on this side, and this all looks good and solid all along here. It has air shocks on here, and I don't think we've checked them to see where they're at air-wise on them or anything else. It rides good. I mean, again, I just drove it today, about 60 miles, and it just drives just fine. As you can see, this looks like original paint underneath here. It's all got the turquoise color on it that it was originally. I like that color. It looks good. I can see brand new e-brake cables on here, and also coming from up front, there's a brand new brake cable on there. Now look at how good these are. I mean, everything looks real good in here. I don't see any signs of rust in here at all. All this looks good. And you know, the drain vents are in here. Also the number that you can read right there, it's stamped in there. It really looks good. Same on the other side. It all looks good there too. You can see now this is a new cable I was just talking about that goes to the e-brakes. It looks like the pan on here has been off and it's blasted and everything else, so it's nice and clean. These both sides here are all real good, and again, I don't see any rust anywhere in here. It all is real good and solid. This is the bottom of the 289. You know, they had the pan off because it's got brand new gasket on there, you can see, and everything. I don't know why they didn't paint this new, black like the rest of it, because the engine's all painted nice and looks decent on here. I have no idea. But all this all looks good. You know, it's not pretty or anything like that, but this is not a show car. This is a driver. So everything looks like it's in good mechanical order. Anyway, you can see like the pulley up in here is all clean and fresh, like it was just all redone and everything. You can see the new water pump up there and everything looks good. You can see a new radiator hose here. This radiator, it looks fresh too. It's like it's been reconditioned, or maybe it's a new one. Anyway, it's hard to tell from here, but you can see it's been worked on. And the rest of this all looks decent. I mean, it's good, it's solid. No rust, and it's not dented or anything or bent in from an accident or anything. So I'm pretty impressed with the underside of this car. Now, I told you that no rust, but what you're looking at here is the bottom of the battery, and that's battery acid that causes that. That's not from rust. Well, now you get a chance to see this Mustang go down the road. I think you'll like it. Well, we're going up on the freeway northbound, so you get an idea how this thing runs and drives down the freeway. I'll step on it for you here so you can see how it works. It accelerates quite well. It's a good driving Mustang. I got my hands off the wheel. It just goes down the road nice and straight. Brakes work good. It just drives really, really well. I think you'd be totally happy with driving this Mustang. It'd be nice if it had power steering, and it could be added, I suppose, if you wanted it to. That was a little over 70 miles an hour there. Now we'll give you a chance to see the passenger side of the Mustang and give you an idea how well it runs and drives on. It's a decent driving Mustang. Well, I hope you enjoyed this short drive on the freeway, so you get a chance to see how well this Mustang runs and drives down the freeway. I think you'll enjoy this car. And give us a call, 206-533-9600. We'd be more than happy to talk to you about it.
I'm Andrew Drager, and if you have any questions about this vehicle, please don't hesitate to call or email us.
I'm Jerry Drager, and we're a father-son team, and we hope you enjoyed the video and understand that we really try really hard to go over the vehicle with this video to show you everything. Doesn't mean that I get every single spot or anything else, but I try, and Andrew and I both work really hard to make sure the vehicles are in top shape before they leave here. You got any questions, always give us a call or email us. We'd be more than happy to talk to you. We really invite you to come see them. And if you can't, you should have them inspected. I think it's really important to make sure you understand what you're buying.